You keep starting over from the same place, different goal, different year, different version of the plan you swore would finally be the one. Same place. And nobody ever asks you the real question about that. They just hand you another system, another habit tracker, another morning routine. But not the wizard. The wizard isn't interested in your system. He's interested in the floor. There's a location you keep finding your way back to, not because you're failing, but because something in you recognizes it. The same financial ceiling, the same moment right before the breakthrough where something quietly falls apart, the same version of almost. Listen, you've been here enough times to know exactly what it feels like when it starts, and part of you already knows how it ends. Here's what that is. That's not a failure problem. That is an identity address. The place you keep returning to isn't where you land, it's where some part of you still believes you live. Think about water. You can heat water to 211 degrees, 1 degree before boiling, and it just sits there, hot, uncomfortable, and going nowhere. One more degree, and everything changes. But here's the part nobody talks about. At 211 degrees, the water isn't failing. It's just not yet what it's about to become. And the temperature isn't the problem. The threshold is. You have a threshold. Everyone does. An invisible line that marks the outer edge of who you currently believe yourself to be. And every time you approach it, every time you get close enough to feel it, something in you finds a way back to known ground. Not because you're weak, but because the self is remarkably good at returning to what it recognizes. Whether you call it faith or assumption, the mechanism is identical. You don't cross a threshold you don't believe is yours to cross. And this is where it gets interesting. The starting over isn't random. Look at where you land every single time. That location is telling you exactly what identity you're still operating from underneath the goal. The goal is what you want. That is your desired self, your desired reality. And the landing spot is who you currently are. And until those things belong to the same person, the gap between them will keep snapping you back. This is why discipline doesn't fix it. Discipline is a strategy. Strategies run on top of identity. You can be the most disciplined version of someone who still lives at that address, and the discipline will hold until it doesn't. Until the weight of the unfamiliar gets heavy enough. And then you'll be back wondering what went wrong. And nothing went wrong. The system worked exactly as designed. Your system, the one built around a self that hasn't yet changed. Here's what the wizard sees when he looks at someone who keeps starting over. Not someone who can't finish. Someone whose threshold is right there, closer than they think. Someone who has been doing the incredibly hard work of approaching an edge they haven't crossed yet. Over and over. Which means they know exactly where it is. And that's not nothing. That's almost everything. The person who stops starting over from the same place doesn't find a better plan. They stop recognizing the old location as home. That's the whole shift. Not motivation, not discipline. A quiet internal decision that the floor no longer belongs to them. You have been circling this long enough. You already know where the threshold is. The only question left is whether you're willing to be someone who lives on the other side of it. The address was never permanent. You just kept sending yourself back. You're not someone who keeps failing. You're someone who keeps returning to a place you've already outgrown, to an old identity. And remember, this wizard believes in you.